Hi guys.
Hello. So, oh, look at the chateau behind you. How
Yeah, the chateau is
nice.
just behind me.
Beautiful. It sounds like it's a little windy and
And
it looks like you got sun but some clouds.
yeah, it's very mild and pretty warm actually this afternoon. A little bit windy. And the vineyard
Great.
is looking beautiful as you can see.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so gorgeous. So I will just repeat again. I've been doing daily vineyard chats at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday with lovely people like you from around the world to get people who are quarantined some outside views. And then there's a lot of virtual happy hours and wine tastings. And I figured it'd be fun to go to the vineyard themselves and talk to people like you. So can you introduce
Great.
yourself? Tell us what your job is and where you are and what you do.
Okay. So my name is Marie-Helene. I've been working at Brane for over 6 years now, and I'm in charge of the promotion, sales, and I work closely with Henri Lurton, the owner. We have a special way to distribute our wines because we go through the négoce.
Hmm.
And this is my mission to sell the wine and to be in contact with our dear négociants in Bordeaux. And
And
also yourself, guys, because I travel a little bit, do some tastings, dinners.
yes,
We've
you
done
don't
things
stop.
together, remember?
Yeah, I do. You were my first wine dinner at Waverly. I always
I
remember that.
remember that. That was great.
I re I remember when you got out of the taxi with Dan Snook, and I thought you didn't speak any English because he was speaking French to you, and I very clearly remember that.
Really.
Yeah. So
I was a little
tell
bit
us about
shy between an American and an English guy.
exactly.
Exactly.
But we've known each other for a while now, so that's lovely. Um, Tell us about Brane-Cantenac in the
So
history and why and the chateau.
yeah, Brane has a very long history. Has been vines here for more than 300 years. And the chateau is a second classified gross from Margaux. It belongs to the Lurton family for 4 generations. And Henri Lurton is at the moment he took over from his father in 1992, and he runs the properties since 1992. So the property is 72 hectares planted, mainly Cabernet Sauvignon. We have 50% of Cabernet Sauvignon. There's a large proportion of Merlot also, 40% of Merlot, and then a little bit of Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and a tiny bit of Carmenère. What is very
And
special about Brane is,
go ahead.
yeah, what is very special, I was saying that what makes Brane very special is what you look behind me is that terrace, it's the plateau. This is all around, it's like an ocean of vines. And the terroir, if you can look at it, is a very clay and it's a very extraordinary terroir which makes the food extremely savory and very tasty. And this is a very special location here.
And where is the river and where is the road in relation to where you are?
So the river is in that direction. So this, the D2, a little bit
Yep.
around here, right? You've
Yeah.
been here
Uh-huh.
before. So there's a road which is also behind me. And the river is at about 800 meters behind me. So
Okay.
it's on the other side of the road. So the plateau of Cantenac is as
I
you
see.
go north, if you go towards Pauillac,
Mm-hmm.
we are on the left side of the road.
Gotcha. Okay. And
Okay.
can you explain? I always have a difficulty when I'm at a table as a sommelier and people say, "What's the difference between Pauillac and Margaux or Saint Estèphe and Margaux?" How do you explain? You don't have much time, so a brief overview of how Margaux is unique amongst the left bank in Bordeaux.
Um, First of all, Margaux is the largest appellation. We have 5 different villages around, so it's a very large appellation with a mosaic of different terroirs. Um, And also you find, although we have a lot of classified growth in Margaux, you have different styles. And I think for most of people, they all very often say that Saint-Estèphe or Pauillac is probably more homogeneous because it's, there's less properties there, so it's easier to be more homogeneous if you are less of you being around. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what makes Margaux very special is that we have here different styles. And if I talk about Brane-Cantenac, it's a perfect balance between the power, but also the elegance and the finesse. And this is given by the terroir. You can also have that in other properties, obviously. Very often people say that Saint-Estèphe, Pauillac are probably stronger wines, more powerful compared to what we have here. But it's very subtle because it's not a question of being light. I think the tannins that we have in our wines doesn't show as much as Pauillac, but they are very present. They're there. You know, it's not light, but it's probably more subtle, maybe.
So what is the blend generally in the Grand Vin compared to the blend on the estate?
We have a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon in the blend. Over the last 7 years now, we are over 70% of Cabernet Sauvignon. About 20% of Merlot. We also have a few Cabernet Franc, very old plots of Cabernet Franc, which are beautiful. And a tiny bit of Carmenère, which is in that direction, very often is blended in the Grand Vin.
It is, okay.
And for the first time last year, we had a little bit of Petit Verdot.
Oh, okay. So I have been pouring for a long time now the Baron de Brane at the restaurant by the glass, which I'm very, very happy to do, and over a few vintages. Can you discuss how the Baron de Brane is different from the Grand Vin and how that kind of wine works?
Yeah. So there are three areas at Brane. There's the plateau, which is the heart of Brane-Cantenac. And then if you go in that direction and behind the chateau, behind the house, in that direction, there are vines also behind. The soil is a little bit different. Maybe it's a little bit more sandy. We have a lot of Merlot there. And most of the Baron de Brane comes from those plots. It's also a very beautiful terroir. The Merlot is showing a lot of fruits. The style of Baron de Brane is a different blend, and we want it to be different. It's not a declassification of what we don't want to put in the Grand Vin. Baron de Brane is a wine by itself. And it has that potential to age, but it also shows really well when it's young, as you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So my friend Sam, who's in Moscow, actually just joined, and he asked if you could repeat what the soils are and maybe talk about which grapes and which soils you have there.
So we have Cabernet Sauvignon on a soil which is it's a soil which is very special location. It's soil with big pebbles, very deep soil, mixed with clay. So we have there is never a lack of water, because the clay has that capacity to take the water when it's too humid and to give it back when it's very dry. So we have that very special here regulation in water, which is very important because the vines never suffer from either too much water or not enough water. And we know, we have a maritime climate here, so we have to face and to cope with the very strong showers sometimes, but also some very long period of drought. So having that balance in the soil is absolutely perfect.
And then the Merlot, you said, is a little more sandy. It's on the other side of the estate.
So
Just
we
to
also
repeat
have
for
some
people who weren't
Merlot
here.
on the plateau.
Oh.
We do. It's a majority of Cabernet Sauvignon, but we also have some beautiful Merlot here, which have been planted. I mean, the average age of the vineyard is about 40 years. But the idea to have more Cabernet Sauvignon is also to be adapted to the changes of climate.
Yeah.
And the Cabernet Sauvignon is a lot more resistant to the drought. And we don't have the problem with too much alcohol also, which we may have sometimes with the Merlot.
So on that note, how is climate change affecting the estate, and how will the estate adapt going forward?
We have planted 10 years ago some Carmenère. That was the idea, to see whether there could be a balance with Cabernet Sauvignon if Merlot was going to be too high in alcohol.
Okay.
And it is quite successful. But for some reasons, we don't reach the point where our Merlot are too high in alcohol.
Okay.
So at the moment, we have only half an hectare. If Henri Lurton's children, he has 4 children, if they need to adapt the vineyard and plant more Carmenère, we know how to do it. They will be able to do it. So that was a direction. The other direction, which is something we do year after year, is to increase the percentage of Cabernet Sauvignon, which is really our key varietal. Is doing extremely well in this very special location of the plateau. And, this is something we continue to, sometimes we use what we call the, you use the roots of the Merlot. And if you want to replant Cabernet Sauvignon on it, we do what we call regrafting. And that works really well. So we've done that in a few plots, and it's extremely successful.
Jamal Reyes, who, by the way, is doing a class on Gaillac today at 1:00 in New York, just mentioned that Brane-Cantenac was the first Grand Cru he bought in 1985. He got it for $19.
Oh, wow.
Things have changed.
85 was a great vintage, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Bordeaux, generally speaking.
So sometimes people think that Bordeaux is just a steakhouse wine, and I don't know if I'm losing you. Can you speak about what you serve Merlot, or what you serve the wine with? I think I lost her for data for a second. This is the joy of talking to people. There we go. Oh, she's going to come back on. I think we lost her for a second, so we'll wait. She'll be back. She's such a pleasure. And these guys travel, so that she would be over here right now, or somewhere. And she's one of the great ones to go have dinner with and chat and learn. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, you went.
No, we lost you. I don't know if it was data or what.
Sorry.
It's okay. So I was asking, well, somebody asked what's the oldest vintage you have in the cellar there, and I was asking that sometimes people think Bordeaux is only a steakhouse wine or only for steak. What do you pair the wines with?
Well, first of all, we are making wines to be drunk, to be enjoyed with cuisine. We love cuisine. We have our own. She's not a chef, but she's doing a lot of different recipes, and we like trying different things. It's a little bit limited to think that we can only have a good bottle of Bordeaux with steak. You can have many things, actually.
Yeah.
Any white meat with a very light sauce. You don't want anything to be too heavy. As long as you have some fresh vegetable, really nicely cooked, not too much butter, you know, a little bit of any kind of red. Even sometimes we do have some fishes with a good bottle of Brane. Um, Fish like oh, what is, you know, bar, le
Is
bar,
it
sea
monkfish?
bass. It's sea
Sea bass.
bass.
Yeah, yeah,
Sea
you're
bass
right.
is
Yeah.
very good. Um, you can have also some sweets, of course, like based with chocolate. It's beautiful with a bottle of Brane. Um, the thing is, you don't want to have too heavy meat, like, you know, some birds like
Mm-hmm.
pheasants. You
Yeah.
understand pheasant? Maybe
Pheasant.
not. Maybe don't go to that direction because the meat is probably too tasty.
So don't do game. Maybe not game like sanglier and
Exactly.
cerf
Right.
and faisan. Okay.
I wouldn't go there because you may lose a little bit of balance.
Mm-hmm. Well, also when that's the other thing that when you're pairing, I think when you have such a great wine like Brane-Cantenac, you want to let the wine show off. So I always say go a little simpler with the food.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um. So your job is to come and travel a lot and meet people like me in New York and other buyers, which we love having you. So how is that different now? Your life and then life in Bordeaux under the quarantine. How has that changed?
Well, first of all, we no longer travel.
Right.
At this period of the year, we're normally very active selling the crop. So en primeur. So we meant to
Right.
sell the 2019 in spring,
Yeah.
and you know, people like you, all our friends, you come, you taste the wine, we discuss, we tell you about the year and how is the vintage and what we think about it. And then you guys, you go back in your offices, and then we discuss with the negociant in Bordeaux, try to find the best conditions for everybody. And this is ready to release our wines en primeur. This is normally what we do. Of course, everything has totally changed. Everybody is at home. Negociants are struggling hard at the moment to sell some wines. I heard that some sales are happening in Asia again. So Asia is kind of going back on the scene. But the rest of the world, Europe, United States, they all locked down. Restaurants, hotels, you know, they've all shut their doors, as you well know. So
Yeah.
it's no time for us to sell 19. It's not at the moment. We are discussing between us to find the best possible solution to make the wine tasty to most of the people, as I mean as many people as possible, which is not easy because you can't travel, we don't travel. So we call négociant and the courtier, and we try to find solutions, and we try to think of how and when we will be able to present the 2019 to you guys.
Mm-hmm. So we were speaking. You don't live very close to the chateau, so when you drive out there, you have to bring a paper a permit with you.
Well, I do. I have my allowance to be able to go and work. So um, because there's a lot of work to do in the vineyard, I'm also helping my colleagues in the vineyards once a week. So at the moment, I'm the one who is the link between the property and outside,
I see.
and also I'm working in the vineyards every Fridays.
I love that.
Yeah, I do, to give them a hand, but also I learn so much. I've
Yeah,
got
of
so much
course.
to learn, and I think it's great.
So what
Uh,
is happening in the vineyard right now? You've had bud break and you hopefully avoided frost. And what's going on right now? What are you doing
it's
today in the
happening
vineyard?
very quickly. The vineyard is a little bit in advance. So we have like a couple of weeks in advance, but that doesn't mean anything at this time of the year. What I've done, I've done some plantation of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then I've watered them because
Okay.
they need a lot of water.
Individually?
Individually.
Okay, and you can do that until they're 2 years old? How is that?
3 years old.
3. Okay.
We can do that until they're 3 years old. So I was doing that with Claire, which who you may know. Claire is also traveling sometimes with me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing all day.
And you're still the other 4 days. You're still talking with negociants, with other buyers, journalists.
A lot. Yeah, a lot because primeur is a big challenge for everybody. You know, it's a big thing in Bordeaux. We want it to be very successful. It's important to talk to each other and find the best way to do it. It's obviously everybody is very concerned to keep healthy, and this is at the moment the priority.
The main concern. Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, we want everybody to be safe and to be able to work in the vineyard, for instance, or in the cellars. There have been some rules that everybody has to carefully follow. And we all very aware of that. And this is our priority. Our ton is extremely kind. With all of us. I mean, he wants us to be safe, first of all. And I think it would be totally Adesson, you know the name? Adesson means it would be, it's not the priority to talk business right now.
I see. So, yeah, of course. Yeah.
The time will come where we will have to make things concrete, but at the moment it's too early. Our president talked to us a couple of days ago, and he said that we needed to be locked down for another 3 weeks. So, you know, it's hard to make things happening.
Yeah. Marie, I don't know if you moved your hand, but there, I can hear you again now. Can you say again what the president said to you?
So the president said that we needed to be locked down for another 3 weeks.
Okay.
Until May 11th.
Yeah, we just got that in New York until May 15th. So, yeah.
So, and then, I mean, once we will be able to go out again, how that will happen, you know, when we will be able to have a normal life again, that we don't really know. So we know, I mean, it's easy to say that it will probably impossible to be together in the same room tasting wines.
Right.
We will have to wait a little bit to do that. But I mean, there are many solutions. We can send samples, you know, to negociant first and then to yourself. And, you know, there are things that we have to be very proactive. We have to think about many things and make them happening. And it will happen.
I mean, I think some of the journalists in Bordeaux you're already shipping to, right?
Well, there are some rumors that some have already sent samples. As far as we're concerned, we haven't done it yet.
Okay.
We think it's not the right time to do it. We will mid of May, June, whenever things doors will be open again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, but at the moment, I've heard as well. So some of the wine critics have tasted some 19s. I'm
Yeah.
a little surprised about it, but I mean, you know, maybe.
Yeah, yes, they can. They can. So there was a question: what is Bordeaux in general, and maybe you in particular, doing to keep young buyers interested in Bordeaux? I think there's a swing back to interest amongst the young people in Bordeaux. But what do you answer to that?
We have a lot to do still. I mean, we are very concerned that for many young people, Bordeaux is like a discovery.
Yeah.
They don't really know Bordeaux so well. They are discovering, maybe their parents knew. So for them, it was like kind of wines for their parents more than for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting when you travel and you happen to meet those young sommelier, and they love it. I mean, they are very open-minded. They're very interesting to learn, and for us, it's very important to welcome them here for the one who can travel, to spend some time with them, make them taste different vintages so they have an idea of what Bordeaux is all about.
Hmm.
Um, we know that young people, they probably go for young vintages because for different reasons. Why not? I mean, it's not a crime to open a young bottle of Bordeaux. If there's nothing wrong with opening a bottle of 2014 and 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also good to make them know what is a bottle of 10 or 15 years old.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to do when I travel, is to open old vintages so they understand, what is aging also.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
important. And that's what Bordeaux is also all about.
It's
I
very
mean, we
true.
can't change our soul, we make wine which have the capacity to age. We don't
Yeah.
want to change that.
Exactly.
So we've
Yeah.
improved many techniques, and we know now how to make a wine more approachable when it's young, which is good.
Hmm.
Our grandparents, it was impossible at the time, but it's also good to enjoy and to understand what the aged bottles are. I mean, it's
Yeah.
part of magic.
Totally. I will let you go. I know you have to get back to the vines. I love that you're out there working today. So again, I'm just doing this to give people some sunshine. I think it's very optimistic to be in the vineyard and to show the new life, and that the vines keep going. People like you are out there working hard to get the next vintage to us. So thank you. Do you have anything you want to say to?
Yeah, I want to say that we all think of you all. We hope that you keep safe, and once everything will be over, we will have a big party.
Exactly. We'll see you very
Can't
soon.
wait to
Well,
do
sooner
that.
rather than later, hopefully.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Say hi to everyone, and it's been a pleasure. It's been great to see your face too.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you,
So good to
Marie-Helene.
see you too.
Bye bye
Bye.
now. Take care.